Hello there, my name's Scott. Today I'm going to be doing a review on the Arry tank, which I received from www.e-cig.com. Before I start, I must point out I did receive a free of charge for purpose of conducting a review. My opinion on the product remains true, honest and accurate as always. Okay, so let's go straight ahead and show you in a bit more detail. Okay, so this section here is the actual Arry tank. Now you can purchase it separately, just in other words, just on its own, or you can also get it with a included clearomizer. Now a clearomizer is one of these things. A clearomizer has a 510 connection on one end. At the top here you've got a heating coil, and you fill up this section here with your e-liquid. Then these sort of bits of string inside, they soak up the e-liquid, feed it up to the heating coil. Then once it reaches the heating coil, it then becomes vaporized. Now the Arry tank is basically a huge extension of the clearomizer. So obviously you've got all that extra room there to be able to sort of fill up with e-liquid, because the clearomizer will actually fit inside the Arry tank. Now there are obviously sort of various methods you can do to like assemble it and fill it up. But I have read quite a few forum posts where people have been saying they've had a lot of leakage problems. Now two guys on my forum called Julian and Wayne, they showed me a method on how to assemble it, and it pretty much guarantees that you won't get any leaks whatsoever. I've not had a single leak out of it yet, so I'm going to show you that method. Let's get cracking. The first thing you need to do is actually remove all the innards from this clear tube. So if you've got yourself something like an old 510 battery, just screw that into place and give it a little bit of a wiggle, and it'll pull straight off. Now you need these little rubber bungs inside there. We need one of them anyway, so if that gets stuck, just get something like a pencil and push it through, and that'll pop straight out. You don't need that little bit there, that can go in the bin, but you do need this section here. That's a very important part. Okay, the next step is very important, and if you don't do this before you place it into the Arry tank, then you're going to get leakage problems. So as long as you do this before you put it inside the Arry tank, then you shouldn't get any leakage problems whatsoever. Now if you look on the little rubber bung that you took out, you should be able to see two little notches are cut out on either side. Now they have to match exactly with the two bits of string, or the two sections of string that are coming out on either side here. So just make sure that those little notches line up right over the bits of string on both sides, and just place that on top. Okay, so the next stage is to actually fit the clearomizer inside the Arry tank. Now before you do that, obviously just make sure you've got that rubber cap on there, and the little notches are lining up with where the string is coming out. Now it's also a good idea just to sort of wrap the string around a few times, just sort of get that out of the way. And then all you've got to do is get your Arry tank and just very carefully just start feeding it through. And once it gets to the bottom, because you've got it already attached to the battery, you've got something to sort of push firmly on. And again, just push firmly. That will line up properly at the top, as you can hopefully see. And you get it nice and flush at the bottom as well. And that's all seated perfectly. And by doing it that method, you shouldn't get any leakages whatsoever, because that forms a really nice tight seal at the top there. Okay, so the next stage is to actually fill it up. So I'm just going to take that off for a moment. As you can see, it's a really nice sort of flush fit in there at the bottom. Okay, so to fill the Arry tank up with your e-liquid, you are going to need one of these sort of syringes, and you're going to need one of these filler needles, which has got like a sort of a flexible needle on the top of it. Before I go any further, I also forgot to say thank you to a guy called Jed, who very kindly sent me out one of his spare clearomizers just to help me out with recording this review, so thank you, Jed. Now if you look right at the top and at the bottom, you can see two tiny little holes. Now they are the filler holes, so you'll get your filler needle, place it inside any one of those two holes, and then slowly start to fill it up using the syringe. That's as close as I can get, so I'm hoping you can actually see what little holes they are. Okay, so I've already placed the filler needle inside that little tiny hole, so I'm just going to very carefully fill it up with my e-liquid. Hopefully it will go in, that's it. when I've been using this, I've been sort of filling it up about 3/4 of the way, and it's been working great. And then you just pull it out, and that is your fully assembled and ready to use Arry tank. Okay, so there was one little thing I forgot to mention, and that is that it also needs a drip tip. So once it's all filled up, get yourself a 510 drip tip, and that just pushes in the top there, and there you're all ready to go. Okay, so that is the Arry tank. So what I'll do now is I'll show you in action. So I'm going to be using my Pro Vary at, I've got it set to 4 volts. And I believe the clear miser resistance is 3 ohms. I'm using my own sort of menthol concoction. Quite what the nicotine strength of it is, I'm not 100% sure, because I'm quite sort of slapdash when it comes to sort of mixing my own e-liquids. But it should be around the 18 milligram strength. As you see, now produces a really nice amount of vapour. Now, when I reviewed just the clearer misers on their own, the one thing I did mention was that, you know, they do have a slight problem with the like the wicking, or in other words, like, you know, transferring the e-liquid from obviously like the chamber up to the heating coil. And it is pretty much the same on this for me as well. Now, if I vape it at 4 volts or a little bit lower, using like the 3 ohm resistance clearer miser, then I can probably go about maybe 6 or 7, you know, really good long inhales before I start noticing that sort of reduction in flavour. However, though, to sort of basically just to sort of get it going again, all I've got to do is that, and that's it. I can start vaping again. I'll get another sort of 6 or 7 good inhales, and I can hold it upside down like that for all night if I wanted to, and I'm not getting any leakages coming out of it at all, which is, you know, quite surprising. But I believe that is because of adding that little cap as you're inserting it into the chamber. If you try and add that cap on afterwards, then from what I gather, you know, you are going to get a lot of leakage problems. But, you know, as long as you add it beforehand, you're not getting any leakages. And like I said, you know, you probably get about 6 or 7 good inhales. Do that quickly, and then you can start vaping again. Like you said, you may experience you know, something completely different to me, but that's just for me personally. Now, flavour wise, when I reviewed the clearer misers, one thing I really did compliment them on was the actual sort of flavour production. And I'm using, like I said, I'm using my own sort of menthol mix here, and it really is bringing out the flavour lovely. The throat hit, I personally find, is not overly strong. You're still getting that sort of thump in the back of your throat, but it's definitely not like a right hook in the back of your throat, let's put it that way. Now, I normally vape 18 milligram strength, which is roughly what this e-liquid is here. And I personally find that the higher the nicotine content of the e-liquid, like the stronger or the harsher the throat hit. So 18 is not too high, not too low, so right there in the middle. And I am still getting that sort of like a definite thump in the back of my throat, but not as strong as if I was using the same e-liquid, like vaping on like a standard or a low resistance sort of 510 atomizer. But, you know, still, nevertheless, you are still getting a nice throat hit. Now, negatives are, one, it looks pretty awful really, you know, like it's not the sort of thing that I would put onto a nice mod and then go out for a walk in Romford and have a vape around the shops, you know, because you're going to look like you're sort of, I don't know, smoking on a crack pipe or something. But it serves a purpose, and that purpose is to give you really long vaping times without having to sort of, you know, top up or refill. Like, the worst you got to do is that. You know, so in that sense, it really does serve a purpose. And, you know, I would use this, you know, well, I've been using it a lot around the home, and also like if I'm going out in the car and that, you know, so just something nice and easy to use. So you haven't got to worry about sort of, you know, topping up or refilling whenever you get to a set of traffic lights, you know. Now, other people might not give a toss about walking around the street with that. But just for me personally, it's not something I would be seen out in public with. Let's put it that way. But like I said, it does serve the purpose. It gives you really long vaping times. Like a full one of these is lasting me a very long time. Let's put it that way. Like I'm probably getting about at least 2 days worth of vaping out of a full tank. I'm not too sure how much e-liquid actually holds in it. Normally I just sort of fill it up 3/4 of the way and then just vape. I've not actually measured how much juice it takes there, but nevertheless it is like a considerable amount now. So in that sense, it's great, but looks wise, not overly fantastic. The other problem is, if you're a person who likes to sort of change flavours quite frequently during the day, probably not the best one for you, because I can't work out any method. Say like now I've got that, it's probably just over halfway full, and if I want to change the flavour, I can't think of any way I can do it without all the e-liquid sort of pouring out basically. So that's the only other sort of slight disadvantage. But if you are a person who likes to sort of vape one flavour all day long like myself, then it's probably a very good solution for you. But if you want to change flavours every 5 minutes, it's probably going to be quite a messy affair. But other than that though, vape's great. There's not a great deal else I can really sort of tell you about it. So if you fancy trying one out for yourself, go along to www.e-cigwizard.com, type in this code at checkout, and they'll give you a 12.5% discount every time you purchase from them. Thank you very much for watching, and also come along and visit my website at www.e-cigreviews.com. That's e-cig-reviews.com. Cheers guys, happy vaping, see you later.